Good evening, I'm Laura Lee. Thanks for joining us tonight. Dan is on assignment. Well, today, students and community members gathered for a student protest outside of the Hinckley-Finlayson High School. This comes after the school board's decision earlier this week to take away the opportunity for the Native American Student Association and its drum group to sing the Ojibwe traveling song at graduation. Northern News Now's Michaela Wrench spoke with students who say they will not be silenced.
The traveling song is an honoring and medicinal healing song. It's nothing of a performance for entertainment or any of the purposes of that. It's not only for Native Americans, it's not for one group of people, it's for everybody in the presence of the drum.
Kyra Wilson is a student at Hinckley-Finlayson who doesn't want to attend her own graduation because she feels unwelcomed at her school. She joined dozens of other students outside the high school Wednesday to voice her frustration at district leaders. The daily protest by students is in response to the school board's decision earlier this week to limit performances by extracurricular student groups, including the drum ceremony at graduation.
We are not an extracurricular, we're not a group. We're Native American, that's what we are. It's nothing of those titles.
The district says Native American students make up more than 23% of the student population. Isabella Strender-Dubinks is one of those students. She is spearheading a silent protest every day after school until graduation.
I want to be heard, we want to be heard, and we won't stop until we are heard.
In a statement to Northern News Now, the district says it will offer student groups access to its Fine Arts Center before and after the graduation ceremony so that the group can perform and sing to their friends and family.
We should not be shoved into a back room to do what we have to do. I don't agree with that at all.
Not only are students upset, but parents are too.
We should be part of any cultural expression, which is what a graduation commencement is.
Neil Gonzalez, the Commissioner of Education for Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe, has children in the district. She says she is sad that students are having to do this.
The Ojibwe people sang this song to just really send everybody away from that gathering with the best wishes for moving forward.
And she says what better time to do that than at a graduation. In Hinckley, Michaela Wrench, Northern News Now.
Michaela, thank you. Now, the district superintendent declined an interview with us, but says the reason for the change is to ensure the graduation ceremony remains focused on the graduating students rather than the extracurricular student groups. Now, the Hinckley-Finlayson High School graduation will be held on May 24th at 7 o'clock at night.